Hello, Virtue here again. I'm going to do another clip on my adventures with the dead in London, and this one is about the White Hart, pub. This is a really mind-blowing clip. It still really shocks me. I've said quite a few times in these clips, the dead can completely stun me sometimes, and this is certainly one of them. Some communications I have with them, they're quite relaxed and quite normal almost. Other times they do things like this to you, and it's just quite amazing. You never know where they're going to take you. You really don't. Anyway, what this was about, this is a period, as I'll just briefly run through it again. I moved from Australia, where I had a moderate ability to contact the dead, to London, and then of course, because London is so incredibly haunted, it exploded. And this clip was an attempt for me to start getting this under control, because I was being just annoyed continually by the dead. And if any of you live in London or have, you know that the living can just about drive you up the wall, let alone without having the other side of the dead annoying you. So I just really needed to get this sort of a bit under control. So this day I decided that what I was going to do is I was going to go into London, central London, around the Waterloo area, and I was going to actually push the dead and say, right, I want to get this under control. I want to find out what you want from me. I want to sort something out. Whatever I was going to do, I was just sort of winging it, but that was my aim. So I got out of Waterloo Station and I basically said, okay, dead people, I'm here. Tell me and lead me, show me. And the first thing I got was go to the White Hart Pub. I thought, all right, I know where that is because I used to work around there. We used to go and have a drink after work occasionally. So I went in there. As I went in there, it's a lovely pub, by the way. If you want a really good meal, it's just sort of around the, I think it's exit 2 you go out of. It's a street or so away from Waterloo Station. Great food too. Anyway, it's a very small little pub, and when I went in, this male entity asked me to go and sit down the back corner, the back right-hand corner of this little pub. So I did. But it was really weird because sometimes when you contact the dead, you get a very, very easy sort of contact. Sometimes I hear them, sometimes I get the symbolism, sometimes I see what they want me to see. It just depends on the individual entity that I'm working with to which way I actually communicate with them. But generally, most of the time, it's a pretty smooth sort of conversation. Conversation in inverted commas, a communication. This was really difficult. This was awkward. It was so awkward. I couldn't get anything out of him. And I was using what I call my dead book, which is I write a question in this book and then I let them, through automatic writing, answer me. And this is an even better system. I'm quite good at automatic writing, so it's easier for me to do it that way. But I couldn't even use that. It was just really difficult to get any sort of idea of what he actually wanted. And it was awkward. But the picture I ended up building up was, I thought, in my mind, I assumed that he was the dead landlord of this pub and that he had died in the early 1900s. The picture I had in my head is that he had died outside the pub. Now, I literally thought something had happened, had a heart attack, maybe he'd been attacked. I wasn't really sure because it was so awkward I couldn't get an idea of even how he died, but I thought it was literally outside, that he'd gone outside to do something and, it expired while he was out there. Then he kept telling me the only thing he seemed to get through was that I don't live here, I didn't live here. And as I said, this White Hart Pub is a very small little pub. And I thought, well, that makes sense because he probably lives somewhere else. Now, in my mind, I was picturing that he lived in a house somewhere nearby and ran the pub and, went back and forth. That's what I had in my mind. So I said to him, well, if you live somewhere else, can't you give me your address? And he kept spelling out the one thing. Well, he'd spell out Ball, and I'd say Ball Street, and then he'd spell out, I can't remember offhand what they actually were, but it was B with 3 letters, B with 3 letters. So he was sort of continually building up this pattern of whatever this street was that he was trying to tell me. It was B and 3 letters, which he couldn't seem to tell me the actual word for some reason. I don't know why. So I said that to him. I said, so I'm looking for a street that is B with 3 letters. And that got a yes. So I said, all right, well, look, I'll make this a little bit easier. Why don't I go outside and we'll start looking. I'll start walking and you see if you can actually lead me. Because my whole premise on that day was to get the dead to really show me what they were capable of doing. And I was virtually up for anything. So I said, all right, you lead me. So I'll just adjust this. This is the area that near Waterloo Station. It's actually really nice to have a wander around. All the houses are the old workers' cottages. They're absolutely gorgeous. Apart from the cars, it's like you're in another era. It's just beautiful. So I didn't mind walking around because it's a gorgeous area. But, I was walking around looking for some street that had B and 3 letters. And, I was turning off and going down different streets and wandering around, seeing if I could see it. Couldn't find anything. And then as I was sort of walking along, I got this really clear message from him. You're looking for a lane? So I said, all right, let's confirm. B, 3 letters and a lane. And he said yes. So anyway, I ended up outside Southwark Underground Station. And of course, they've got a really good tourist map. And it's got all the street names on it. So I thought, all right, I'm going to have a look through this. And it took me about 5 minutes. And I couldn't believe my eyes because there it was, Bear Lane. And I went, oh, wow, you're kidding. I was really quite shocked because I didn't think it was going to be that accurate. But anyway, so I went up and I'm still thinking, my mindset is, my picture of what he's trying to tell me is, White Hart Pub, he died outside, but he lives somewhere else. I'm going to find his house. This is what I'm thinking. So I find Bear Lane and I walk down Bear Lane and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, this is not a housing area. I mean, it is now, it's all flats because, of course, it's London and there's flats everywhere. But back then, if it was early 1900s, this would have been industrial. I mean, you could see the old factory shop fronts and everything still in there. I thought, there's no way he lived down here because this is just, because I've still got house. I'm still thinking cottage or something in my head. And I walked to the end of Bear Lane. It's a funny little windy lane. And I was standing with my back towards a building, looking down the lane, thinking, did I miss anything? Because I was so sure this was going to work. I really was. I was so sure. When I saw that Bear Lane, I thought, oh, he's done it. He's actually shown me something. And I was a bit disappointed because I thought, oh, it's fizzled. Oh, I'm really disappointed. Anyway, I thought, oh, well, nothing to do about it. So there was a main road sort of behind me and I walked up to orient myself because I didn't quite know where I was and, to recognise the road. And as I turned around, I had this incredible moment of surreal confusion because I'm looking at a pub that's called the White Hart Pub. And I'm just in utter confusion. When I turned around, I was right out front of it. And I'm just in utter confusion because I'm thinking, have I gone back to the other pub? And I think I can't be because I went from Waterloo up to Southwark. I didn't go back to Waterloo. How is this happening? And it took me probably quite a few seconds to actually realise that this was a different pub. And I was just in total confusion. I'm thinking, why is this pub here? And then all of a sudden, it's so, because you are actually dealing with another entity, another energy, another separate being, your ideas and their ideas are not the same. And I had this fake idea. He communicated, but I'd translated his communication completely in the wrong way. So when I backtracked and I sat there and thought, oh, it started to click. It's like, sometimes it feels like it's just like pennies dropping. You think, oh, I was in the wrong pub. What he meant was he died outside this pub, not literally out the door of the pub, but he didn't die in this pub. That's what he was trying to tell me. He died somewhere else. He was not the landlord of the first White Hart Pub. He was the landlord of this one. But I was in the wrong pub. And I just translated it wrong. What I should have translated from him was, this is not the right pub. I'm going to lead you to the right pub, because this is not the pub I ran. It's another one. Now, I had absolutely no idea that there was another White Hart Pub. Waterloo, if you know London, and Southwark are next to each other. It's literally a 10-minute walk, if that, from the other pub. And I was just absolutely shocked. But then I also realised, by the setup of the pub, was I was standing with my back to the pub initially when I was looking down Bear Lane, and that was in the right-hand corner at the back, where he'd first asked me to sit in the initial White Hart Pub. But it was quite absolutely amazing. So with that said, this is the White Hart Pub that the male presence ran as a landlord with his wife. I would mind going back there actually and getting some more information about him, because my focus on this obviously wasn't, with him as well, wasn't on getting names and dates and information or anything like that from him. It was mainly getting me to the right pub. So I wouldn't mind going back and getting some more information. And you know what? I'm going to do this again. I'm going to go to a random underground station. I'm going to walk out the exit. I'm going to say, right, dead people, show me something spectacular and let's see what happens. When I do it again, I'll take a camera with me too, so I can actually do a bit of filming while I'm trying to find my way. And I mean, it could be an absolute disaster, I don't know, but it's certainly worth a try. So I guess that's about it for this clip. Thanks very much again for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any comments or any suggestions or, whatever, please feel free to make them. And there will be more of these clips coming shortly. And I'll see you on another one. Bye for now.